Welcome back. Welcome back. My hair's still a little bit wet. I literally just put this in my hair, and I was going to put another one in there, so it probably looks a bit uneven, but it's one of those ones where you get ready and then you're like, you just can't be bothered to continue getting ready, to be quite honest. So my hair just hasn't fully dried, but we're going for the beachy vibes, the beachy lifestyle, as one is here on Kangaroo Island. So yes, a big update. No, there's not really a big update. I'm still on Kangaroo Island. It feels like this island is just full of like backpackers or like locals that have been here forever and a day and just have lived and breathed this place. I can't say that I would stay on this island forever and ever and ever. I don't know how people would do that. It is very small, but of course, it is beautiful. And I guess if you had kids and you could take them to the beach all the time, that would be nice. But yeah, I feel like I need some sort of city in my life, as well as like sort of a beachy, towny vibe. Like, it's nice to get away from the busyness and craziness, but we can't be living on a beach forever. Well, not a beach, a town forever. Yeah. So that's that. I've also been fighting a cold for the last week, which has been quite annoying, to be honest, because I was going to swim with the dolphins this week, and unfortunately I had to cancel. To be honest, I'm fucking nervous because I can't swim, right? And it was freezing that day, and I was like, I've got a cold, I'm already nervous about swimming with the dolphins, and now I'm going to be freezing in the sea. Yeah, I mean, we do get those like what are they, not life jackets. What are they called that the surfers wear? Wetsuits? I guess it's wetsuit. And they're meant to protect you from the cold, but I still feel like I'm going to freeze. And I don't particularly want to do that when it's like windy and cold. And I've got a cold. So anyway, we're going to do that next week, which will be exciting. Oh, also update, it was Valentine's Day. What did everyone get up to, by the way? Like, are you guys doing like big like Valentine's days? Because there was a few couples like that are on the island that are just not really like, they're just not big Valentine's peoples, and then it's like, I love the thought. I love the idea of Valentine's, and I think that it's really nice to have that special day with you and your partner. But also, I can see why it's another like commercial thing to do. I mean, we've just had Christmas, then I had Kelly's birthday, then it was our anniversary, and now we had Valentine's all in the space of like a month, basically a month and a half. So I was like, God, this is a lot. We just had your birthday, just had bloody anniversary, and now Valentine's. But it's really, really sweet, and we actually went to a winery, which was beautiful, and the scenes were incredible. But also for you same-sex couples, I guess it's more, I don't know, even straight couples now, of course, but it's the traditional that a man would plan a cute Valentine's date for the woman, I suppose, in the societal, lifestyle. So when it came to like who was going to like plan the date, it's kind of one of those where you have to kind of give each other a heads up, because otherwise, what if both of you planned something or booked reservations, or what if no one did? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I never know how to really navigate that, to be honest. So yeah, give us a heads up if you guys, especially if you're in a same-sex couple, like how do you come to that negotiation, or is it just obvious who's going to do it? I think Kelly just said to me that, oh, I can plan it, because I was working a part of the day, so she was like, I'll sort it out. But yeah, beautiful. If you guys have watched this podcast before, you will know that every other week there is a different person doing this podcast. It's either myself or my twin sister Mia. Now, Mia did her last episode about hypnotherapy, so she's been going through a journey of healing, and she explained how she basically has always had anxiety and struggled with it, and she wanted to explore other avenues of learning how to like learning where it came from and how to navigate and sort of understand it more. Can I firstly say, before I go into that, actually, that you did put a picture of me mugging me off, which I think was quite upsetting. I will just say that you are lucky I am in a rural area and printing things out is not as easy as it should be. But because otherwise you would have a fucking horror of the picture I would have put up of you. Anyway, I do think that your episode, my sister's episode, Mia, was very, very well articulated. I thought it was very vulnerable to do that episode. I think it is a credit of like the person that you are, that you want to be able to have these tools to make yourself feel better. And I think I've taken a note out of your book, really, and I actually I don't know what that word is. It seeked or sought? No. Anyway, I looked for a hypnotherapist myself here on the island, and I was really, really lucky to find one because, of course, on a rural island, I thought we'd have to go to the mainland for that, but we didn't. I didn't. And I've actually been seeing this woman. Well, I've seen her once. She taught me some like relaxation, like practices that I can do. So tapping meditations and breath work and stuff like that, which I think is really, really helpful for myself as well, who has also struggled with anxiety for as long as I can remember, to be honest. And I think everybody does to a certain degree. I just think for me, it sometimes felt that it's been, overwhelming and debilitating, to be honest. And I definitely want to be able to, coming up to the end of my 20s, be able to deal with big life altering things that happen. And, even anxieties will sometimes make you, like the smaller things in life, like your body is on a high alert. It just feels that those, things that are still hard to navigate, but not as intense or not life-threatening, but it makes your body feel as though it is in a survival situation. And I just want to be able to balance that a little bit. So I'm seeing my hypnotherapist again this week, and I'm hoping she's going to give me more of she's going to put me more in a hypnosis state so we can sort of navigate where my sort of anxiety stems from. Maybe it's the same as me. I think that's another thing too that we could explore, really, because she's obviously has her own journey, but of course we lived our whole childhood together. So there are a lot of experiences she's been through that I've also been through. So it's going to be interesting to see how they have potentially affected and impacted her, and also how that then impacted me, and whether it was sort of the same things that have weighed on me, I guess. So yeah. If you guys do enjoy our episodes, if you like to listen to more, please give us a share, please give us a like, it always helps, and give us a comment, and definitely subscribe, please. Anyway, so this week I'm going to talk all about second chances. Gossip in the closet. Right, anyway. Okay, we're back. So yeah, this week I'm going to talk all about second chances. Now, I just want to clarify, by the way, when I talk second chances, I would never even consider talking about giving anyone a second chance if it was abuse, any type of abuse, really, sort of emotional abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, none of that. So I'm talking second chances, but in a different way. And I'm going to get to that. Anyway, I personally actually have never given anyone a second chance. Now, I feel like people would define a second chance in so many different ways. Like for me, I think like a second chance is like, you don't exactly have to have done a big betrayal. You know, sometimes like relationships just don't work out, and it can be for various different reasons, you know, communication and trust and understanding. And, you know, sometimes you may feel as though, you know, your life wasn't aligning, or you go through something so big and, you know, something that's personal to you, and you're not able to provide that sort of love for someone else, and the relationship breaks down that way. So there's all sorts of reasons why I think that someone would consider a second chance. But I think as a younger person, I was always like, you know, in my early 20s, like starting relationships and whatever, I was always like, I'm never going to go back to someone who, like I would, like, once an ex, always an ex. That was kind of the vibe that I had. Like, that's the mindset I always had. And to be honest, it still is the mindset I have. However, I do think that I can't ever say never, because you never know what could happen in someone's life. And I never know that if, you know, you go 5 years into a relationship and for whatever reason, it breaks down in that, and you just need time apart. And potentially, I think that if there is like a insufferable amount of gravitational pull that you just cannot deny, like, and insufferable is the wrong word, it's just like this crazy pull towards someone, and you're like, I have to be with that person, like I cannot longer like live without this person, and they feel the same way, then I do think that there is sort of, you know, I do believe in many soulmates. However, this soulmate might be the one for you in this life. And I think that if that's the case, then potentially second chances could happen. However, I have actually been provided a second chance before. I didn't take the second chance. I was very, very young, and I actually had betrayed someone's trust. I was, I was not a great person in that relationship. It was my first ever relationship. I was young and dumb and stupid and whatever else. And this person was like, if you come to my university, because I was choosing my universities at the time, then I will forgive you. And I thought, no, because for one, I knew deep down that, you know, if I respected or cared, not respected, that's an awful way of putting it, but if I really wanted to be with this person and love this person, I would never have behaved in the way I did. And also, I think, that's awful to say, but yeah, I just felt that they should be with someone that wanted to be with them. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't take anyone back if I had done what I did to them, if you know what I mean. But anyway, so yeah, definitely been giving a second chance. Never gave a second chance, I don't believe. Never gone back to anybody. But you never know. But anyway, so I know that obviously people have these thoughts and feelings of, should I take this person back? What is the right thing, and what's the right thing to do? What's the, you know, the wrong thing to do, I guess. But I think whatever you are, if you are having these feelings, by the way, don't feel shame about having these feelings, can I just say, without sounding preachy. You, like, don't let anyone else judge you. If you're going to take them back with your chest, and just, yeah, sit on that. So I think that if you have, say you've broken up with someone, say you've blocked them, deleted them, you've muted them, if it's not like a crazy upsetting scenario, but you've muted them, you've told them that, you know, the boundaries, you don't want to be sort of in their proximity, you don't want to be able to see them so you can move on. Say that's the case. Say you haven't spoken in a week. I'd hope longer than a week, to be honest. Months, even a year. Okay? And I always feel like this means that there's been enough time passed, and we'll talk about that more like in a bit. But say that you have manage to have that breathing space, and for whatever reason you have parted ways, and now you're in a different headspace, and you bump into, I don't know, you bump into their friend, their best friend, who, speaks about your ex-partner, and you start to think about them and you miss them, or bump into them. So you bump into your ex-partner, and you've decided, let's grab a coffee. And you start to text again. You're starting to have these coffee dates, This is where you have to think to yourself, what is the feeling you're having? And this is, first of all, what I want to talk about is why it feels tempting to go back to your ex. Okay? These are the feelings you're having at the moment. Is you've been single now for a minute. The only ex you have, your most recent ex is this person. Maybe you've been on a few dates with other people, whatever. You've had space from this person. And now you're meeting up, and now you're texting again, and you're having all of those feelings rush back to you. Then you need to decide, because it's like, is it because you're thinking, fucking hell, like, actually being with this person and getting back with this person would just mean, like, I don't have to get to know them. I don't have to really get to know this person. I don't have to meet the family again. I don't have to do all of that, because I think sometimes a lot of the fear of, being single and being broken up from your ex is that you have to go on this journey of, like, the daunting task of, getting to know someone again, and opening yourself up and being vulnerable and letting someone see you for who you truly are again. And it can feel like, but my ex is back now, and maybe it will be better this time. So you need to understand, is that how I'm feeling? Is it because I just dread getting to know someone again? Because if it is, I'm not sure that's a good enough reason to be going back to your ex, in my opinion. Also, I think, like, comfortability, familiarity, it's that feeling of, but they know me so well, and it's so much easier just to be with this person who already understands me and my life and already chose me once. So, is that the feeling you're getting? And especially I want to talk about being in the queer community, because for me, my experience 100%, and I think for a lot of people, is that they feel like the dating pool is quite small, and especially in your area or whatever, you feel like, but I literally know all the queer people in fucking, in my city, like this, which you don't, by the way, but you feel like you do, because you do feel like you do. And whenever I hear that there's like a new lesbian on the gaff, I'm like, hey, like, how do I not know them? Like, you just feel this way. And like, if that is the case, if it's just like the fear of like, I'm not going to find another queer person, that's not true. There are people out there that you haven't met yet. So please do not go back because you feel like it's your only option, because it's just not. And I know it's easy for someone to say that, because I've been on the apps and I've done it, and it just feels like, ugh. Or you've been dating a few people and you think, these people you can't compare them to the relationship you had with your ex. But that, again, that's where you need to stop, because the reason why you're trying to date someone new is because you don't want the same thing you had with your ex. Your ex is one person. You're never going to get that feeling back. But there was some reason why it didn't work, and that's why you need to find a new way of being comfortable with new feelings for new people, So yeah, and you need to also understand whether you're in love with the feeling you once had, because I feel like this also is a big thing that people go through. I know I've been through that myself, and it's like that nostalgic feeling, like you look back at, you're single, you're so fucking single, and you're looking back at pictures of you and your ex, and you're remembering how you felt in that time, you know, especially at the beginning of your relationship, and you're like, I will never ever love like this again. And sometimes that feeling can overwhelm you, and I'm telling you now, once you see your ex again, not always, but for me it was like, once you see your ex again, once you're not always going to have that feeling again. You know, that feeling was once then in the version you were at that point, but maybe you're chasing a feeling that unfortunately no longer exists. So just sit with that, because these are the reasons why sometimes it's just so tempting to go back to your ex, but it's not always the right decision, you know. And I'm going to talk more like, specifically, I hate that word, specifically. Anyway, let's move on from that word because I hate it so much. But I'm just going to go into more detail about when I think that second chances is just, it's not going to work. If this is happening right now, if you are sat there thinking, shall I go back to my ex? And these things are happening right now, what I'm going to list, what I'm going to talk about to you, no, do not go back to your ex. Hell no. I'm going to drink some of my Celsius. Which I thought was a natural drink, but apparently it's full of caffeine. But anyway, it's going to get me buzzed. Right, okay, so if you are not on the same page, hello, obviously, of course, if you're not on the same page, it's not going to bloody work. And when I'm talking about same page, I'm talking about, have you both agreed about what went wrong? Okay. Are you both on the same page? Are you reading the same fucking book? Because if your partner is still saying, well, you know, agree to disagree, do you know what I mean? Because, like, you know, you did this and I did this and da-da-da-da. No. If you are still fighting to win instead of fighting to understand each other, it's just not going to work, okay? Because you've got to be able to take accountability 100%. If you two are still going, well, yeah, let's leave it in the past, like, is what it is. Like, if you know deep down in your heart you feel like your partner was in the wrong, and they're still going, well, I don't agree. Defensiveness. If you're not taking accountability, if you're being defensive, it's not going to work. You know, you've got to come to each other with openness and say, you know what, really, truly, I could have behaved differently. And if you're both not going in with that and being able to, both of you, if you can't sit there and list, or not even list, but if you can't have a mutual conversation about what went wrong and you both are not in agreement, do not go back. The argument is still simmering. It's still in there. You're not on the same page. You're not able to move back. You can't be a team. You can't be a team when you're not understanding each other. I think that's really key, especially when you've had time and space to reflect and you both can't come together and you still both can't agree. Then, you know, it's always going to be something that is going to be, you know, the elephant in the room, in my opinion. If someone's going to say sorry to you, are they telling you what they are sorry for? Or are you showing up? Maybe you're the one that fucked up. Maybe you're being given a second chance. I don't know. And are you saying, hey, like, I am sorry for do, and actually apologizing for what you did? Or are you saying, I'm sorry, the relationship didn't work out, fucking out, like, let's move past it? That actually is just not going to work, is it? So, yeah, defensiveness, not going to work. You've got to be on the same page, otherwise it's not going to be working. Accountability. And also please tell me that there is evidence to changed behavior. Because if this person is saying, yeah, it's never going to happen again, but there's that the same. For example, if you guys argued over money and say your partner loves to spend their money. I mean, who doesn't love to spend their money? I love to spend my money. But you guys have set a goal to like save up for a mortgage. Get end of every month, the money's not there. You're putting in your half into your savings account, your joint savings account. You're putting in your half. You've both agreed 250 quid each every month. Their half's not showing up. You've been having this argument. They cannot get a grips of it. Maybe I don't know, maybe they have an addiction problem, maybe a gambling problem, you know. These things can get to a point where you're no longer on the same path. This person continues to make the fake promises, you know, I will save, I won't spend my money this time, and it continues and continues, and you've tried to get them out, but they've not taken it, and this has gone on for 3-4 years. You've still nowhere near close enough to get a mortgage. These things happen, and these breakups happen, you know. Maybe you've broken up for a year now, and this person comes to you and goes, do you know what, if they came to you and they go, hey, actually, you know, I've been in a stable job for this whole year, I've managed to save this much money, like maybe they had to go to some meetings about their spending or their gambling problem, and that actually can show you like evidence to changing, then I'm like, okay. And you feel as though this is the love of your life, and this person has gone, you're worth it, and I'm sorry I didn't show you, and I want to change my life, and I want our goals to come true and our dreams to come true together, and they can show you that they evidently have changed, bish bash bosh, like let's go for it. However, if they're saying, yeah, well, I managed to get a job a week ago, and I mean, you know, I haven't spent my money yet. Okay, well, I mean, week is great and it's good that we're starting, but that's not good enough. You know, people don't change overnight, and like if you've been arguing about this for 3 years and they've only managed to save for a week, we got a bit of a problem. If there's no change between a breakup and a reunion, then unfortunately I would say you should expect the same ending. Expect the same ending. You know, nothing's changed. I want to go into now when it is a good idea. So when it is a good idea is, like I've said again and again and again, time and space to reflect, to understand what went wrong, and to be able to work on yourself to come back a better person if you want to be together again. Like I've already said, I'm kind of like already saying these things, but like changed behavior has, you know, like please show me how you've changed so we can actually, you know, forget like all of those bad situations we were ever in. Like, can you both agree of what went wrong? Name what went wrong, and you're both listing the same 5 things, then I think a second chance is on the cards, 100%. Boundaries. I think that if you're going to go back strategically, like go back in a little bit like as a business plan, like this is the second time round, like this means, for me, I would assume that this means that this time it's serious. Like this time, like I'm not getting back to you. I'm not going to go back into this and put my all into it if it's not serious. And I think that comes with boundaries. So like we're adding and we're addressing these boundaries that we both have. And it's like, can you meet me here? Are you able to be that person that I need? And am I able to are we on the same page in terms of what our boundaries are? They definitely need to be addressed, and I think that don't be scared to go in there. And if they cannot say that is what they're able to do, then it's not going to work. And also, like, I think the speed of it has to slow down. So if you are willing to get back together and you think it's the right thing to do, then, like, let's get to know each other again. And let's do it slowly this time. Don't go, okay, yeah, that's it. Then bring your dog, your bed, whatever, I don't know. You know, bring your dog in your microwave and come back to the house. No! Let's not move straight back in together. Let's do a bit of dating for a month. Let's see whether our lives still work. Are we able to make our lives combine again? And yeah, does it make sense? Put yourself on a bit of a trial, and yeah. And of course, accountability without defensiveness. If you guys are still butting your heads, if one of you is still being very defensive, it's just not going to work. So yeah, that is my take on second chances. I think it's just a funny topic, isn't it? Because I think, you don't want to be seen as like, oh, just weak by getting back with someone, but it's not always the case. If you're meant to be in each other's lives, if you have that pure gravitational, like magnetic, feeling towards each other, and for some reason the universe keeps giving you signs or keeps bringing this person back into your life, you're like, fuck, like maybe we are meant to be together, then of course, but just go with caution, I would say. Anyway, guys, please tell me if you guys have actually had a second chance or given a second chance. Comment and let me know what happened, how did it go, does it work, do you guys think it worked? Let me know. I don't know. And just before we finish, I thought it would be funny to have, not funny, but I thought it'd be fun to have Mia, my sister, on my next episode answering this game or playing this game with me. And it's called Second Chance or Blocked Forever. And you guys can play along, so let me know. I'm going to give you some scenarios and you let me know whether you would give someone a second chance or you would block them forever. Okay, first one is, they told their best friend your deepest secrets. However, your best friend is dating their best friend and now they know. Okay, is that a blocked forever or is that a second chance? So they basically not kept your secret. They've gone and told their best mate, and their best mate is dating your best mate. And now we all know. I don't know if I could take someone back after that. But yeah, the next one is your partner admits they have cheated, but they tell you straight away and they say it was nothing. I did not mean to do that. It meant absolutely nothing. I was going through a really, really hard time, and they've been really, really upfront about it. I mean, I hope most of you would say that is a no fucking go, block forever and ever. But yeah, Mia, what do you think? Second chance or block forever? And last one. You've been texting someone for a while, but you haven't met up yet. Well, one-on-one. So you've been texting for a while, but you haven't met up yet. But you're all in the same sort of friendship group. You go to a party and they're there, and you finally think that this is your chance to like have a one-to-one and have a little chat and have a drunken sort of make-out sesh maybe. But they ignore you the whole day, the whole party, sorry. But then they message you later after the party saying, I'm so sorry, but my ex was there and I felt really, really uncomfortable. Is that a second chance or is that a block forever? Let me know. All right, guys, if you guys enjoyed this episode, please comment and share and like this post and let me know what you would like to hear us talk about. What would you like Mia to talk about? What would you like me to talk about? Yeah, and get involved. Thanks, guys. Take care.